Hey, what's going on, guys? It is your good friend Matt. We're back again here today at the only place that we always can be, and as you already know, that is Matt's Wrestling Collectibles right here on YouTube. Today, we're doing another one out here in the car. I don't know, we're getting a good vibe out here because we can really talk when we're out here in the car, you know what I mean? And today, we definitely need to do so. Going to be talking about AEW Revolution. What an event. What a crazy turn of events. A lot to go over right now. So let's get right into it because we got to talk about it. And let's start off with the biggest one because I think this is going to be, the real headliner here is what an incredible match between MJF and Adam Page. I mean, wild. And we've seen some wild stuff from AEW already. I mean, we've seen the Moxley, Darby Allin matches that were just crazy. I mean, Darby Allin just in general has done some wild things on AEW. Some of the wrestling purists, I think, are not really thrilled with it. I don't think that we need it necessarily. I'm not saying it's not good in times. I mean, obviously in a Texas death match, I think that's a good place to, do some wild stuff. But in a different setting, maybe it is a little bit too much. It's a little bit too much at once. And for some fans, maybe a little bit hard to digest. I mean, I did see a few people in the audience looking pretty, I don't want to say sick, but they were definitely looking a little bit, soft on the stomach, a little queasy for sure. When that syringe, that needle went through Adam Page's mouth and through his cheek. What a wild one that was. And my bad if I'm giving any spoilers for anybody who may not have watched, but if you haven't, you're going to hear a few things here in this video. So obviously, without really having to even say, we're doing an AEW Revolution review and we're talking about it. So you already know what it's going to be. But in case you don't know, in case you don't want to hear, this is your time to tune out now. But my big thing with their match was just the incredible spots. I mean, there was a lot. I mean, from the glass to the tables to the dog collar to just so much. I mean, there was a lot of spots in that match. And that is where, again, this is a review of the things that we like and that we don't like. And we're talking about it. That's what we do. We're out here. This is where we're going to, talk our shit. This is what it's going to be. So let's talk the truth in the matter. Are matches worth the length that they are in AEW? I know that the biggest quote that they go with is, this is where the best wrestle. And continuously, we have these extremely long matches, it seems. But for some of them, I feel like they're just beyond the limit that they need to be at. I mean, there's some that I don't think we need to see go for an hour. I mean, realistically, the Adam Page MJF Texas Death Match entrances to the camera cutting off was basically an hour. I mean, almost on the dot. And I don't know. For me, I think that a match like that deserves that credibility to go that long, to be that crazy. But at the same time, it's tough because that match may have been a better match in 25 minutes. I don't know. I don't want to take away from what they're doing because I loved every minute of it. I love MJF, and I do think that Adam Page is a great talent. I don't know exactly where he goes from here. Some people are talking crazy, but at the same time in the wrestling world, you can never really talk too crazy. And some people sitting there saying, "Oh, this is perfect timing. He's gonna be out of AEW the next day or something," which I don't even think that makes any sense because I thought he was contracted until like 2029 or 28, something like that. I thought was Hangman's current contract, like something like that, to 2028 or 30, somewhere in there, 2030, somewhere around that time. But either way, people sitting there speculating, oh, he's done with AEW, he's going to show up at WrestleMania. I mean, hey, listen, I always say in the wrestling world, anything is possible. It's crazy. It almost feels like in a lot of ways with what is going on in the current wrestling regime, we are in a sense at a point where it is like kind of like the Monday Night Wars again, just not exactly like the Wars, but you know what I mean? It has a little bit of that vibe. It's not the same. It's not the exact same. I'm just making a slight comparison. And in that same breath, I will say there are the people that need to realize that as AEW continues to grow, things will hopefully get better for them and the just the overall product is going to get better. We have people going back and forth with each other. We have people that are going essentially against each other in a battle of brand supremacy, if you will. And that is what makes it so great. That is what makes it so enjoyable, and that's what we as fans are striving for. I mean, I know a lot of people could sit there and say, hey, I am not a fan of AEW. I don't watch it. I don't like it. I don't do this. All I watch is this. I'll be honest. I am all for what anybody wants to do. You can love or not love whatever brand it is you like the most, right? Or that you hold at your number one spot. I will just say that there is a lot out there, and for the people that don't use it and the people that don't take advantage of how much is out there, you do miss out on a lot. And I'm just throwing these out there just for the hell of it. You've got WWE, you've got AEW, you've got TNA, of course, from the sub brands in AEW to the sub brands of WWE, as I would say, NXT and ROH. So you've got WWE and NXT, you've got AEW and ROH, you've got TNA, you've got MLW, you've got GCW, you've got the NWA, you've also got New Japan, you've got God, as these are now slipping out, I'm all over the place here. But you've got New Japan, you've got JCW. There is a lot of wrestling that you can watch out there in the course of a week, majority of the time, if you're willing to put in, the time to really watch it all. And that's just it. I mean, we get so much of it during the week. Wrestling is on every single day, almost. You've got Monday Night Raw. You've got NXT on Tuesday. You've got, Dynamite on Wednesday. JCW and TNA are on Thursday. You've got Evolve, you've got SmackDown, you've got like I said, you already got TNA, and that's just wrapping up into Friday, and then all these other sub shows that are going on, or other brands, like I said, like MLW, GCW, whenever they're putting on events, we get all of this in this bubble. So it's like you are missing out a little bit if you're not watching. I would definitely say, I wouldn't just be stuck on AEW or WWE. I would really watch the product, because there is a lot of good wrestling out there. There's a lot of good moments out there, and it's always going to be the same thing. Take the good with the bad. But back to the point at hand here with this match. I loved this Texas Death Match. I think Adam Page is hopefully set for something big in AEW, especially now with this whole contract and stipulation. I mean, who knows? Maybe something will happen. Maybe there'll be some type of double swerve or whatever. There's always something, right? But with that, I think that match was fantastic. I think it was well worth the timeline that they put, through the whole thing, all the spots, everything that it came down to. MJF just being that ultimate heel. And, wow, just what a match. What a match. If you guys have not already watched it, again, I'm assuming you have, but if you haven't, make sure you go and check that out. If nothing else, watch that match. Devote an hour to that match. It is definitely worth it, I will say. You will not be disappointed. I'm sure Meltzer's going to give it 5 stars. I will give it 5 stars, and it is deserving of it, but I don't want to bullshit with Dave Meltzer over there, another one who's delusional in the wrestling space, but it is what it is, right? We're not going to get into Dave Meltzer. That's maybe another let's talk about it for another day, but either way, we're going to get back to this. We're not going to go through this entire card, but a lot of great returns. We saw Edge and Christian come back. How cool is that? We saw that match, obviously, play out between FTR and the Young Bucks. FTR keeping the belts, the Young Bucks, Edge and Christian, FTR, a lot of tag team stuff getting mixed up. Will Ospreay coming back. That was great. I really, really liked that, and I'm hoping that we're going to see a lot more from Will Ospreay moving forward. That was crazy with his neck injury, and I really I don't know, with everything that's going on with him, I just hope that he stays safe and tries to be as safe as he can be. I know that's easier said than done, especially in the sport and in the entertainment aspect, because once that adrenaline's flowing and you got the audience and they all want it, they all want that extra push, and you start doing those things that you normally would not do, right? But it is what it is, and hopefully Will Ospreay, great return, and we'll see where this all goes from there. And as far as returns or debuts are concerned, let's really get into this one. Wow. Ronda Rousey making her return to professional wrestling, and I gotta say, man, I'm just not really a fan of her. I wasn't a fan of her in WWE. I thought it was cool at first, but there was a lot of stuff that went around, backlash, so on and so forth, just with her, the media, a lot of different things. I just didn't care for her. And, of course, was watching UFC for a long time. I've watched Ronda Rousey before she was ever a WWE superstar in the Octagon. I liked her a lot then. I think the consistent with Ronda Rousey has always been this. Once she is not the top dog or the topic of discussion, it becomes a problem for her. We're going to see it play out here in AEW. Of course, we'll see if Tony Khan keeps her right at the top of that list, and we'll see where it goes from there. But we'll have to play this out as it goes. But very, very much the same thing. WWE, the first run, as things went, wrong. Oh, it was, I got to go. This isn't right, blah, blah, blah. Comes back again, gets a little bit of it again. Oh, again, same thing. I'm not the top dog. I'm not the attraction. You guys are playing this out like this. I'm out of here. It's the same thing with her all the time. It's going to be the same thing in AEW. Literally, you can watch this and mark my words on this one. It is going to be just that. She is eventually going to lose that top spot. It isn't going to be what she expects. A lot of people are probably not going to take to her. I mean, yeah, it's cool she's in AEW. I'm sure some of these AEW people that were probably hating on her in WWE are going to be loving her now, but who knows? Maybe some people will stay true to it, and that will be that. But either way, I digress from that. It is just going to be a play on what goes on for Ronda Rousey from here. Is she going to be hired muscle? Is she going to be going for the world title? What is going to be the real deal here? Because if she is not in that top dog spot, she is probably going to say, see you later, and she's going to walk out. That is what I expect from that. And with all of that, I've seen a lot of controversy already. People saying that people who had made certain comments were not allowed to be on AEW, and subsequently they are no longer in the company or even involved at all. And somebody said, oh, well, Ronda Rousey made these comments. Why is she allowed to be there? Well, the simple fact is this. You take the 4 people that they compared her to with this whole thing of Brian Kendrick. He's no longer there. Trey Miguel, I think, was another one. And I can't remember who the other 2 were. They had 4 people that they said were nowhere allowed to be on AEW TV or involved with AEW because I guess of something that they said, things that they talked about. One of which I believe was the Sandy Hook ordeal, which, very, very tragic, but that was one of them. And I guess Brian Kendrick had spoke on it and some conspiracy theories about it. And I guess Ronda Rousey supposedly had said some negative words about the Sandy Hook shooting. I don't know. I have not gone into all the details of that. I did read some of the quotes that they were putting up for Kendrick and some other stuff, or like I said, they kind of put it into detail. But all I can say is this. She draws more money than all 4 of these other people. When you're in a certain position of power, that is where things are really at in this world. And I hate to say it because it's such a sad truth, but it just is that. It is the truth. It is the same thing in WWE, and I am just using pure example here of just people. I am not using them as if they have done anything. I am just saying this strictly out of pure scenario. If you take some type of bad event, crime, whatever it may be, something that you get in trouble for, if Randy Orton did the same thing that, let's just say, I don't know, I'm trying to put somebody in this without it, I don't want it to be negative, but let's just look at somebody like, I don't know, like Kit Wilson. Kit Wilson's getting way over right now. His theme song, a couple other things, his toxic, quote, and his all that stuff that he's been doing, and he's doing great. But let's just say Kit Wilson and Randy Orton both commit the same exact crime, and it's enough of a crime that would get you suspended, let go, fired, whatever it should be from WWE. Randy Orton is not going to get fired. He probably will keep his job. Kit Wilson may get suspended, may lose his job, may never come back, whatever it may be. But it's, again, you see what I'm saying? It's all about that position of power. And when it comes down to it, at the end of the day, if Ronda Rousey made conspiracy comments or talked about the potential of the Sandy Hook tragedy, and they're overlooking it for her to be on television, and they won't do it for somebody like Brian Kendrick or whoever else was on there. Like I said, Trey Miguel, and I'm not saying he was saying things like that, but there was some comments that I guess he made that they said that they weren't going to allow him to appear on TV or whatever. I don't know what the full story is of it, but point being is it is that Ronda makes and draws more money than all four of those other people put together. And that's exactly what it comes down to. And that's why, if that is the case, that's why she's there. Simple as that. It's unfortunate, but I also will say this. Her debut, her return, however you'd like to look at it. I mean, she's not returning, but you get what I'm saying. You know, it's a return to wrestling, but a debut in AEW. I don't think it went overly bad or good. It was kind of very mid-ground, mediocre. Again, Ronda has said a lot of things about wrestling in the professional wrestling world. I don't know. Also, too, let's not play it out like it's not a coincidence that she's showing up in AEW with her being about 2 months away from her MMA return against Gina Carano, MVP Promotions. Jake Paul, of course, putting that on. And as you guys already know, what a card that's going to be. I follow, UFC, MMA, a little bit of boxing at that, but mostly MMA and UFC. But you guys already know the deal. So, I mean, it's all in promotion. This is all a money-making deal between AEW, probably Jake Paul, Ronda Rousey, this whole entire thing. They're going to promote their fight. They're going to promote AEW probably in some way or another. It is all across promotion. You scratch my back, I'll scratch yours. One hand washes the other. It's just the way it is. So, I mean, guys, we've been seeing it forever. We've been seeing it in the pro wrestling world forever. This is nothing new. But I will wrap this up as this is a little bit longer than most of the Let's Talk About It's that we have been doing. As I told you guys before, I'd like to keep these to be, no more than 15 minutes, usually about 10. So, we're going to wrap this up with this and just say this. There was a lot of great matches at the AEW Revolution pay-per-view. I got to give it to MJF and Hangman, that Texas Death match. Definitely 5 stars, no matter what Dave Meltzer does or doesn't say about that. And I will say that match was incredible. I loved it. I think that there was a lot of great returns on it. I think there was a lot of great just wrestling in general. The only gripe that I really have about it is, like I said, does the Ronda Rousey stuff really make sense other than a cross-promotional aspect? I don't really think so in that, and just it's nothing special. It really isn't. And on top of it, the only other thing I don't like is the amount of time it takes. We had the pre-show run over into the pay-per-view. Guys, we're starting the pay-per-view. Fireworks are going off. They're still in the ring. I mean, what is going on? I mean, really, can we get serious here? The pre-show ran into the pay-per-view, and the pay-per-view starts, and they start the pay-per-view like, hey, it's AEW Revolution, it's Sunday, you know what that means? It means that the pre-shows run over to the pay-per-view. We've got Ricochet and Jungle Jack Perry, they're in there for the national title. Oh my God, how ridiculous is that? How ridiculous are we literally running over? We got the fireworks, the pyro going off while we're still in the middle of a wrestling match. How absolutely ridiculous. But needless to say, Jack Perry picked up the victory there, and I was very happy to see that. I actually did want to see somebody take the belt from Ricochet. I think Ricochet needs to do a little bit of what he's been doing, and eventually things will come around, and he is eventually going to get his flowers all in all. Great wrestling by everybody for the most part. A couple of little, hiccups here and there, but to be expected. And that's just it. The show ran way too long. That's my biggest gripe. And as far as it goes moving forward and for everything else that they do, I hope eventually AEW can realize that, yes, you're giving fans a real bang for their buck. But at the end of the day, it is just way too long, and we got to shorten these up just a little bit. I mean, a little bit. Even if we cut an hour off. I mean, geez, that was a long event. I'd have to go back and double check, but at least a solid 5 hours. I mean, that's a lot. That is a lot. I remember when that used to be like WrestleMania, and that was the big thing, WrestleMania being the big Mecca event. Now it's 2 nights, so I guess you could say the same thing, but it's just, hey. It's all about the dollar, guy. You already know that. But hey, listen, everybody out there watching, I love yous. I appreciate yous. Until the next time, until our next video, until our next Let's Talk About It, you already know where to find me right here. Subscribe to the channel. Leave a comment below. Tell me what you think. Tell me what you agree or disagree with. And we'll, of course, get back to this even later on. We'll talk a little bit more about it. We'll have more Let's Talk About It in the near future. We're also going to be talking about Randy Orton's heel turn. That is coming up for sure on one of our next videos. So, Until then, make sure you hit that bell icon if you want to see and hear from me each and every single day. Hit that subscribe button. And of course, like I said, until the next video, guys, stay safe, stay tuned. I'll see you all there.